so tough on Steph?
What's that?
Was it PSG to make this so tough on Steph?
They did a great job on Steph. Bridges was all over them, and they did a lot of switching. They stayed home, when he was off the ball, and the good looks that he did have, he didn't get them to knock. He didn't knock them down, so he never found a rhythm. But I thought their defense had obviously a lot to do with that. They were really, really good.
What in your estimation ended up being the separation there in the second half?
Well, we had 23 turnovers. Our offensive execution was really, really poor. They frustrated us. With the pick and roll, they did a really good job on Steph and Draymond in the pick and roll, and just didn't feel like we executed some of the other stuff, that we were trying to run. And it felt to me like we were in a rush that whole game, and especially in the first half. We were constantly in a rush, and against a great defensive team, if you're in a rush, you're going to turn it over, and that's what we did.
How much of their defensive success was it Ayton in the way, he got out on the perimeter pretty well, and obviously, big presence in that.
Yeah, Ayton did a great job on the switches when he was out on our shooters, and then, like I said, I thought Bridges did a really good job on Steph, and they've got a lot of, good long defenders, strong defenders. Crowder and Chris Paul both really strong, and Cam Johnson. They've got length, and we switch a lot, and they took us out of a lot of our stuff.
There was a lot made of this matchup going into it. Did it feel like a playoff preview to you?
It was a great crowd. There at the Footprint Center, everybody was up and fired up, and it was really, really fun to feel that atmosphere, that environment. And I thought for the most part we competed well and hung in there. I mean, we were right there until the final few minutes and had our chances, despite the fact that it's obviously a very poor night for us offensively. So, but I give them credit. They were the better team. They deserved to win. Their home crowd was great, but fun to be back in this type of atmosphere.
You mentioned rushing. When they do take away some of that stuff, Draymond, 2-minute stuff, what would you like to see? Just more patience, setups.
Yeah, poise and patience. We had plays where we were, instead of coming down and just making the jump stop and finding the open guy, we were just in a rush, making passes on the move where we didn't even have the option to stop and assess what was going on. So because we're in a rush, we start making some passes that we can't pull back, and all of a sudden they get into a passing lane and we're throwing the ball out of bounds or they're stealing. So, of the 23 turnovers, it felt like a lot of them were because we were in a rush, and we've got to show more poise. We've got to execute better, and we'll look at the film, and it's probably good for us to go through this game, especially early in the season, because it's a good reminder that we're going to have to get a lot better.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. That is kind of a playoff level defense out there. Do you think, particularly for your young guys, or even for Steph or Draymond, that this is informative and it is good that you're facing them on Friday, so you can really kind of try to implement some of that?
Yeah, it'd be a great film to watch. We're going to have a ton of stuff to watch, and we'll get a closer look at our execution or lack thereof, and we'll have to put together a better plan. But this is kind of what it's about, at the very top level of competition in this league. It's going to be hard. It's supposed to be hard, and Phoenix is a great team. They went to the finals last year, won the West. So, good measuring stick for us. Like I said, we were right there the whole way with them, despite missing a bunch of guys and not shooting well. So a lot to feel good about and a lot to get better with.
On a night where you were kind of looking forward on the offensive end, what did you do? What you played for you guys?
Yeah, Jordan, that first quarter was huge. We after a little bit of a slow start, and then I think he had 16, 18 points, whatever it was in the first quarter. But, you know, when teams are going to commit people to Steph the way that Phoenix did, then there's going to be openings. You know, there's going to be openings for Jordan, openings for Otto. Those guys, you know, knocked down a bunch of threes. The openings for Klay Thompson. It's going to be fun. Yeah. So, you know, like I said, a lot to look forward to, but the main thing we've got to take from this is got to get better. We played the Western Conference champs. They were the better team. We get to play them again in a few days. Let's see if we can make some improvement and carry that improvement forward so that when we do get into these type situations, we can be more effective.
Defense wasn't your issue, but Ayton did, you know, he had an impact inside offensively. Why do you think that was, and what could you do better?
Yeah, Ayton played well. I mean, you know, he's going to score. We're switching a lot. We're doing a lot of things defensively. He's going to get some points inside. So he played well, and I don't really look at that and say, oh my gosh, we got to go do something about Ayton. You know, he's going to get his points. He's a really talented player. So you know, like I said, we'll look at the tape and see what we can do better.
You guys did this a little bit against Portland too.